welcome to my ongoing slide into depression. The U.S. Justice Department just disbanded their cryptocurrency enforcement unit. At this point, guys, it's just us. We're the only ones out here calling this stuff out. The government itself does not care. It is funny. You know, I used to be more optimistic than on CoffeeZilla, it's part of the aesthetic is like this depressed detective. And I used to be slightly more optimistic. And then we got the Void. And slowly I have become maybe more jaded than I even show on CoffeeZilla. At this point, on CoffeeZilla, I'm trying to bring some light to it. I'm trying to bring it lighthearted. And I barely can. I am way more cynical and black-pilled than I've ever been in regards to the government, law enforcement. It's absurd. I mean, what are we exactly doing here? So the real memo here is that essentially in light of the Trump presidency, they're going to cool off on a lot of their prior enforcements, specifically as it relates to virtual currency exchanges, mixing and tumbling services like Tornado Cash, and offline wallets. And they say this is to target instead the end users who actually do the crime. They say they're still going to focus on that. They're just gutting the enforcement team, which is a bit strange. I will say, though, how are you supposed to find the criminals if you don't enforce any actions on the tools that criminals use? Does that make sense? Like, one of the big problems in crypto is you can be completely anonymous and steal a bunch of money and then launder that money with these tools in the middle and then off-ramp it and nobody knows, nobody's the wiser, right? So the part of the way this was addressed was you target the thing in the middle, which is Tornado Cash, for example. The problem is now we're saying we're not going to do that. We're not going to target any of the tools that criminals use. We're just going to target the criminals. But how are you supposed to target the criminals when you don't know where they are because of the tools, right? It's kind of this funny thing. But honestly, I hope that they are actually going to continue to target the people who do this stuff, the actual criminals. I just think it's doubtful, to be honest, because the DOJ says it won't pursue cases it feels are better left to financial regulators, which is, it's just incredibly loose language. And the problem is the financial regulators themselves have been gutted, as evidenced by every day it seems that the SEC is dropping another case. So what financial regulators are we leaving cases to exactly? This seems more like a just step back in general at large. I hope that's not true, but it does appear to be the case. I will also say it's notable that the person who wrote this was one of President Trump's former criminal defense attorneys. Now he's the deputy attorney general, so he sort of like flipped his roles. But this policy does seem to be more in the line of we're doing a lot less in crypto. We're going to kind of put our hands off and say that's the purview of the regulators, while the regulators also have their hands off. We kind of get this sense because of where they've actually put their key, people. So there's this guy, a prosecutor, Yoon Young Choi. He was one of the top guys who played a role in the department's most significant cryptocurrency cases, according to the Washington Post, including against the owners of Tornado Cash and the prosecution of Abraham Eisenberg. So this big shot, prosecutor of big crypto cases, where do they put him? Well, they move him to a newly created Sanctuary Cities division of the Justice Department. So we're reassigning people. We don't want them covering financial crime of cryptocurrency. Is that a convenient thing now that our government is also inextricably embedded in cryptocurrency as well? They have financial interest in cryptocurrency. I don't know. I can't say. All I can say is it's weird to call this stuff out. I will say that. It's kind of strange because it used to be we call this stuff out and it was sort of explicitly or implicitly illegal, or you had good reason to believe, this is probably bad. Now we're calling it out, and it's like, is it actually? I don't know if it is. The joke is crime is legal, but what does that statement even mean? It's odd, and it has me beyond black-pilled. Like there have been jokes on the Reddit, like, man, I feel bad for CoffeeZilla. He's watching everything become legal, but it's I can't tell you how weird it really is. I am forced to laugh about it because I don't know what I would do if I didn't. It's a bizarre thing. I don't even know what I'm doing here. So yeah, I hope that makes sense. Sorry to kind of vent a little bit, but it is an interesting position we are in here on the Void. We're sort of, it's become catch and release. Like we report on stuff and it's like, well, actually that's legal now. It's odd. So yeah, every day it seems like we get new news about this stuff, but yeah, we got to continue reporting on it for now until I figure out what I'm going to do here. By the way, Tornado Cash, one of these money laundering tools, got delisted recently. Of course, they ironically say, we remain deeply concerned about significant state-sponsored hacking and money laundering campaign aimed at stealing, acquiring, and deploying assets for North Korea. But we just delisted the platform they were using. So that's, we're deeply concerned. But we're allowing it. We'll allow it, but I'm deeply concerned. Okay, that's basically it. I don't know what to say. It's a weird one. Weird times. All right, see ya.